The Life in 5 podcast is proudly presented by Southland Shopping Centre in South Penrith. It's my local and a true community favourite. It's got everything you need in one easy stop. It's got good food, all the everyday essentials, and plenty of local businesses doing it right. Whether you're sorting dinner, knocking over the weekly shop, or just chasing a good coffee, Southlands makes it easy. Do yourself a favour and swing by Southland Shopping Centre. It's local, convenient, in the heart of South Penrith, and tell them MG sent you.
Yeah, nothing really changed. I went up there, played my first New South Wales game at Lang Park against Mal Meninga. He was in the side and so on. And then Chris Close and Wally Lewis came on in the game, the second game. But I always remember coming off with Tom Reddy. He said, I love killing them. That was pre-stat.
Welcome back to Life in 5, the podcast where we dive into 5 key moments via photographs that have shaped some of the biggest names in sport, the media, and the entertainment world. I'm MG, and today's guest is a true Parramatta legend, a no-nonsense back rower who became a cult hero during the golden era of the Parramatta Eels. And off the field, well, he turned a simple sports store into one of the most iconic rugby league brands in the country. It brings me great pleasure to introduce the one, the only, Peter Wally Wynn.
Mark.
Wally.
Oh, Mark, now, MG guy. Oh, what an introduction, you know. I'm just thinking about what I've had to do since you contacted me a couple of weeks ago.
About the photos?
About the photos. You've given me schoolwork. You've given me homework to do. I mean, not since the old days when I taught you out there at Whalen High School when you're just an up-and-comer.
Let's get on to that because back in, I was year 9, so I would have been 1982. It would have been. You were playing for the Eels. You were right in the middle of your era.
Yeah.
Because I remember you brought Jack Gibson and Artie Beeson out to the school while you were there. But I remember the first day, cause I think you started as a relief teacher. And
1980. I think I got appointed out there. I went to Wollongong Teachers College and I trained there to be a secondary mathematics teacher. And I got appointed, you can't believe, I had an offer to go to the eastern suburbs, Roosters, and Bob Fulton took me up into his office with Ronnie Jones and gave me this deal. I was just finishing off my exams down in Wollongong. That was 1978. And what had happened, I'd been contacted by Parramatta and I signed with Parramatta. And you can't believe the first school I got appointed to.
Whalen High School.
Almost. What? Maroubra Bay High School.
Stop it.
The Bra Boys.
You went from the Bra Boys to the Druid.
Yeah, can you believe it? But I was like a 6'2" second rower playing football first grade for Parramatta. Mate, that meant nothing. You're a Westie. That was a good initiation.
You were
teaching.
a bit of you were a rock star. You were a rock star when you rocked in because, as I say, for those of us who were rugby league au fait, we knew who you were, and you just thought you strode in. I think the first day we saw you. You walked in with a limp because you must have had an injury from the game.
Plenty of them.
What a golden year. We'll get to all your photos later, but the shop's going well?
No, it's good. Yeah, it's been going since 1988. You know, there was just an itch there to get involved into a store when I was teaching and so on. So the time had come back there in the end of 1987. But it's been good, you know. It's all changed so much though, MG, because everything's about licensed product now for us. And there's 17 teams. There's these companies that got exclusive rights to making the jersey for a particular team. As in Parramatta's case, that's Macron. With Penrith, it's O'Neill's and so on, you know. So you order your stock in this day, and you just can't get in the car and drive up the Classic up there and fill the car up, get back to the shop. Now it's all indent. 6 months ago, we ordered the jerseys for this season, and so who knows what's going to happen? It's lottery, so to speak. I haven't got a crystal ball to know whether Parramatta can win their next premiership.
Well, we'll get to that because you were part of a golden era, and I'm keen to get your thoughts on where you think Parramatta are heading. But let's get straight into your first photo, Wal. I'd say this is you as a young bloke. Tell us where it is, how old you were, and why is this significant when you pick your 5 photos?
You recognise the ears, did you? No, you certainly couldn't recognise the hair because it's long gone. Now, you know what? My father was on the railways. We lived at Maitland. I was born in Maitland. From there, we moved to Blaney, and Dad got a promotion to work in Temora.
Okay.
Temora. So we moved around quite a bit. He was as you were an assistant station master, but that was 1964. I love my Mickey Mouse T-shirt. But I tell you, big rugby. My dad played football, so it was automatic for my brother and I to start playing the game. I think I started playing rugby league, as I said, 1964 for East Temora. But in '63, I played for St Anne's Temora in the Junior Cup.
Temora, who's from there? It's
there's quite
Trent
a few.
Barrett,
Trent Barrett,
Liam Martin.
Elu Martin.
Yeah, Tamora. That breeds them.
Lomax.
Lomax.
He's from there.
Wow.
Yeah. Todd Payton.
Toddy Payton.
Toddy Payton. And like you look at that photo, Tamora is divided up in the north, south, east, and west. That's the 4 sevens, 5, 6 sevens, 7 7. They had enough for that many players in each team. That's quite amazing. But that was a big part of my growing up. And 1964 got the most improved forward for East Timor, 477s. So I thought I'd better show you that. Just brought so many memories about where your journey starts.
So there's is it just you and Graham? Graham, obviously, for those know that your big brother,
little brother,
little brother.
Yep.
Is he little brother?
He's younger.
He's bigger, but he's littler.
He's
younger.
A little bit littler after you got hold of him there many years ago.
Oh,
remember that?
We'll get
to that.
Well, it's a sidebar because 1991 he was playing for the Magpies, and I shoulder charged him and knocked the poor bugger out. And the next day that was a sad day. The next day I was booked to go to Sports World on a helicopter.
Yep.
They were going to pick me up at Penrith Park and fly me into Willoughby, wherever it was, and talk footy.
Yep.
Like I think it was Fatty Vorton's show or someone. Yep. So I jumped in the helicopter. In the back seat was your brother and your nephew. He brought his young bloke with him. I'm going, oh, fuck me.
Jeez.
Sorry about
yesterday.
He goes, oh, mate, he was sweet, but what about that? He was in the helicopter waiting for me to jump next day.
Yeah, like your footy career starts somewhere, and that was the start for me, was playing for East Timor way back in 1964, 65 and 66, and my brother owned the same weight division. I think what was 4 stone 7, probably about 28 kilograms. Probably eat that much a week these days. So, and that's what it was.
So people don't comprehend, do they, the weight divisions we used to have? And I mean, they kind of, that was more brought up again once we saw the Polynesian influx into our game. Everyone said, oh, the juniors, now instead of having weight for age, they've got no scores or tags.
Just they're big kids, aren't they?
Oh, they're massive.
They've changed the game, as you know.
Well, 51% of our first graders now are Polynesian.
Is that amazing? I think back in our days, back at Parramatta, there might have been Olsen Filipina.
Yep.
He was playing. Henry Tarr.
There would have been a handful.
Yeah, not many at all.
A handful.
Yeah, it's very hard to think back who was around those times. Mark Graham, you wouldn't really call him Polynesian, but he was from New Zealand.
What a player he was.
Oh, big, strong second row. You'd have come across him a few times.
Oh, yeah, he was one of the... I think I played you a couple of times.
Yep.
What year would you retire?
1990.
1990, yeah. So I played 88. 87 was my first year of first grade.
What year was your first year?
87.
Yeah, I played against you in 87 at Parramatta Stadium.
Yep.
I might have backed up in an Amco Cup midweek competition game.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember playing you on. I kept away from you. Much bigger than me, MG. I thought you might be a bit of a
but I just want to get you back
for the way.
I remember the time you said, I'll give you the cane.
Yeah,
no, you're a very good teacher. You were a good teacher.
It's good days. It's great kids. I still see some of the kids drop into my shop, which is probably the most rewarding thing I get as a next teacher.
I bet.
Kids still remember you. It's very good.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is how it all started for you. So when did you, decide that you wanted to be a teacher? Because this diploma is what you're just talking about. This is your photo number 2. And obviously this is very special to you because you've bought it as one of your 5 most favourite photos. Why is this so good to you, and what memories does that bring back to you straight away?
I just think it's a part of the journey. I mean, that previous photo was when I started playing rugby league in Timor, and then we moved to Werris Creek. Werris Creek, it's about 800 people. It was a railway junction. You catch the train from Werris Creek up to Armidale, up to Brisbane. You hit Werris Creek, you turn left and go out to Moree, and sharp left down to Binnaway and Mudgee and that sort of area. So Dad was the station master there. So I got there when I was in year 4, went right through primary school and then started high school at Corindai High School. I used to get the bus to school back and forth every day. And as a kid, I worked in a little electrical shop every afternoon for an hour, get the bus back
from pocket money,
school, bit of pocket money. I think I was paid $3 for the weeks, an hour's work Monday to Friday, and then if you worked on the Saturday, I got $1 for that, and if I worked on the Saturday, I got $2, 9 o'clock to 12:15. So that was a bit of a background. I had a bit of money coming, not a lot of money. I mean, I think thick shakes were 20 cents those days.
Or 3 scallops for 20 cents.
That was it. So anyway, so you get through that, and my brother-in-law had a farm, so during the school holidays, I go out and plough his paddocks and so on. I think he paid me $3 an hour, so which is relative to what happens now out there. And then during the school holidays, Dad always got us a job as a junior station assistant, unpacking the trains. They come in with parcels, whether they're going to Moree, whether they're going up north to Armidale.
Just on that, before you go any further, I've got a question that I might think about later.
Yep.
Being the son of a station master who was always shipped around, was there one place that you wished you would have stayed for longer that in all your travels?
A good question, MG. Look, I just say Maitland, Blaney, Temora, Werris Creek, Muswellbrook, Kiraville, Castle Hill,
All before
Harris
what age?
Park,
All before what age?
Liverpool,
Jesus.
Kellyville, Windsor, Box Hill, Moralia, Bondi Beach. I
Wow.
moved around a fair bit, so I think I've enjoyed them all.
Yeah, I bet you have.
So really, when you're younger, you didn't have much of a say where you're going to go. Dad always improved himself, so he got quite up high as being a railway station master. But so you get your high HSC, and I passed my HSC, so I've got to get out of Werris Creek. So
Was it always maths? You always liked maths?
yeah, I think maths and PE, but I think maths was the one that they offered me, and it was like a bit of a crossroad too, because you get the year. This is 1975 when I finished school, and a bit of a crossroad what you're going to do with your life from there on. And I got a scholarship to go to Wollongong. Didn't know a soul in
No, I bet
Wollongong,
you didn't.
but three of my mates got scholarships in Newcastle. So they said, "Oh, Pete, where you going?" I said, "I've got a scholarship to Wollongong." So I'll change it. So I rang up the education department, and they said, "No worries, Mr. Wynn." They sent me a form to fill out. And I got the form, and I looked at it, and I said, "You know what? No, I've got a chance now to do something myself. I've got to take the Wollongong. I've got to get to Wollongong."
Okay.
So I went to Wollongong my own
Wow.
down there.
Even the temptation of joining your mates.
My mate and my sister was at the conservatorium,
okay.
but it was just like you'd just been handed something. You're guaranteed a job if you pass all your exams. The deal was they pay for all your education, and you have to teach for at least 12 months. So I knew that was down the track in 3 years' time. So bit the bullet, and we travelled down to Wollongong.
And you remember this day vividly, getting your diploma?
I think that's just a summation of that,
Okay.
leaving school and then going into the teaching. So I thought that was quite relevant because you really had to apply yourself and you don't want to fail. If you failed, you had to repay the government all the money they'd given you. And so just give you a stepping stone into your future life.
Was it always teaching? Like when I know year 10 at school, we used to do work experience
Yep.
for 2 weeks, and I picked the police force. I wanted to go and see how I went to Redfern for a week, and then I went to the city for a week, and I was in the fines department, and I always wanted to be a policeman. And then kind of footy came along when I was 17, and it took me in another direction. Was it always teaching for you? If not, because I mean, did you ever play when it was professional? Like when it was full on training, that come on about 95, didn't it?
A bit later, I missed all that.
Yeah, so it was always teaching that you wanted to do?
I think that was a good option to take. Rugby league was in my life, though. I mean, we'd start playing as a little 4 or 5 year old kid, and I just wanted to play football. But took a bit of a twist and turn too when I was in sixth form, as we call it, which is what
Year 12.
these
Yep.
days. Year 12. We'll stick to that. I trialled for the CHS side. Anyway, got right through to the selections out at Orange. Anyway, that was you had to go out there for a whole week before you picked the open weights. And what happened was on the Saturday played against Muswellbrook, the Wednesday played against Parra, and on the Sunday played for Werris Creek against Gunnedah. And on the Monday you go to Orange. I hurt my knee on the Sunday. So I didn't get to go to those final trials. So I completely missed CH. Not saying I would have been selected, but I often look
Big chance you would have been.
Well, maybe I was in the firing line, but I looked at the program when they had all of New South Wales covered up with all the different. There was Metropolitan, there was Northwest, there was Western Division, everything. But I didn't get a chance to see if I was good enough. So I really got under the radar a little bit, and then we had a good side in the under 18. So I missed half the season with a crook knee. I hurt my knee. Couldn't believe it. And 2 games out, we're undefeated. 2 games out, we had to play a semi-final, and I came back and played, and the same year Werris Creek got in the first grade grand final. And it was at Werris Creek. So we got to the grand final in the under 18s up against North Tamworth. Werris Creek first grade got into the grand final, and the club approached my father for me to play first grade on the Sunday.
Wow.
And Dad said, no,
What?
no chance. Not doing it. Too young. Had an injury half the year, so I didn't play at all. But David Morrow was at that grand final.
Thirsty.
You believe that? Every time I saw Thirsty when I came to Sydney, he always brought up the Werris Creek under 18
Wow.
side winning the grand final. So then what happened then, a guy came up from South Newcastle and gave me an offer. So Mum and Dad and I went down, spoke to him, but I wasn't quite ready for it. I didn't really know what I was doing. And then all of a sudden, as I said, this scholarship came up, so down to Wollongong I went.
So how did your rugby league voyage start? Because I know the next photo is we're going to go back before we go forward. Because how did you go from that schoolboy tryouts to playing first grade at Parramatta?
Yeah, that was an interesting journey. I got down to Wollongong with my mother, went and enrolled at the Teachers College, knew no one. Okay, one of Mum's friends was at Bulli on the Bellambi railway station. So we stayed the night there, went out and signed up, to do.
Play the Steelers.
No, to play for the Thurrool Butchers.
Thurrool Butchers.
Thurrool Butchers, Who do you know there? Oh, them blokes.
Yeah.
So you turn up at the Thurrool Butchers, and the guy who was in charge of the Thurrool Butchers was Keith Nolan. And Keith says, Pete, I know your father could play rugby league. because Dad had an offer to go to Manly, didn't take it up. So he said, look, if you come out and have a trial, we'll find you a place to live. I said, that sounds good. So
Wow.
Mum and I got on the bus, went back to Belambia. Next thing, Keith Nolan rings up and said, oh, we've got your place to live. Just come and have a trial on Sunday. So I got this house to live next to the Teachers College near the university.
Oh,
And,
life was sweet.
He had organised the reserve grade coach to pick me up, and it's about half an hour, 45-minute drive out to Thurrool, and then start playing. Gave me an offer, and before I knew it, I was in first grade. You believe it? In the pre-season
Jesus.
final against Corrimal
Corrimal.
in 1976. You know, it was quite amazing. Then started off in first grade.
So how did you go from Thurrool to Parramatta? Who scouted you?
So that first game, you can't believe it. The Corrimal front row was. The front row was Craig Young,
Oh my goodness.
Oscar Dennelson,
What?
and John Maguire.
John Maguire.
Who played in the 73 grand final. So I am a skinny 85 kilogram. And they threw him in the front row of all things, you know. You know, a couple of funny things. That was my initiation to first grade. Played first grade that year. And then the following year, to answer your question, I got picked for the Illawarra representative side, which was in the AMCO Cup. And we played against
MK
Valleys.
Cup. How good was the MK Cup?
MK Cup was so good. So they picked Slippery Morris.
Was
and
Valleys
myself.
from Queensland?
Valleys, Brisbane.
Yes.
So we...
So they had the yes, I remember they had them teams. It was awesome.
Awesome.
Western Division.
Ross Strudwick was the captain
Yes.
coach. Anyway, we fly up and we get knocked off. And at the end of that year, so that's 1977, that's my first taste of representative football in the AMCO Cup. And then the following year we go up again. Again, the games we played through, Illawarra played against Valleys. And I was roomed with Harry Eden. Believe that? Harry Eden. Remember Harry? Anyway,
The legendary Harry Eden.
I was last out of my room. I went to get on the bus, and there was only one seat on this bus to travel from the hotel to Lang Park. You know who was sitting against?
No.
Ray Rabbits Wire.
What?
Can you believe it? So I'm nervous
Rabs.
because there's Rab sitting there, and I've watched him on the MCO Cup. And I look around, I was going to lay on the floor just to get to the... He said, Wynn, sit next to me. He said, I know you come from Werris Creek. And he says to me, I actually played for Corindi. I was a leading try scorer.
Rabs was saying this.
1966, Group 21. And the Corindi Grasshoppers. That's a true story.
Oh, the great
Every
man.
time I see him, yeah. So then from there, I got picked for... we won that game. We had a good side. So Tommy Bishop came in as a coach, and he picked a heap of young guys to prepare for the 1978 season. So we had the old country division.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
next thing we're playing Southern Division, we beat them. Play Monaro, we beat them. Then we play against Riverina, we beat them. We're up against Newcastle in the final, we beat them as well. And then when that game was over, they picked the touring team. So we toured Queensland for 2 weeks, played at Port Macquarie, played at Tweed Heads, played at Ipswich, played at Lang Park, played at Tamworth. And then you
Wow,
come
what a
back,
tour.
and then you come back to Sydney. And you've got to play country first, Sydney first. You played so many games such a short time. So I run out with my brother with the second rows for country first. You look on the other side of the field, there's Tommy Rodonicus, Bob Fulton, Mick Cronin, Steve Rogers, Terry Fay, Graham Eady and Larry Cora. Not a bad back line. It was all right till they got the ball. When they got the ball.
Well, because back in the day, and a lot of people won't remember this, but country was country, city was city.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter who they picked. That was
how it
the
was.
echelon was massive, and if country even got close to the city, it was a big effort for them.
But their forward pack was, I think it was Greg Pearce, Terry Randall, Paul Kahn, Ian Thompson. They had just a massive...
All the guys I grew up
We
with.
led 8-0. We led for a while, but then they got the ball. I think they rattled us about 30 points to 19. But then at the same time, so we lost that game. Then you're back to Thurrool, play again for Thurrool on the Sunday. We're still involved in the MCO Cup. So we'd beaten Wellington, we'd beaten Valleys, we'd beaten Northern Suburbs. We'd beat
So were they like qualifiers to get to the Leichhardt Oval or something, were they?
So it was all televised. So we played all that. Next thing, we're up against Balmain. So up we come.
At Leichhardt Oval?
At Leichhardt Oval. Up we come, and we beat Balmain. Can't believe it, can you?
What, you did?
This is the Illawarra side.
What?
Knocked over Balmain. And then the next team we're up against is Eastern Suburbs Roosters. So we get the bus up.
Mark Harris?
Mate, you can't believe it. I'm sitting in the grandstand. I watch them come in. Russell Fairfax, Bill Mullins, Johnny Brass, Mark Harris, Stumpy Stevens.
Oh, wow.
Hastings,
Johnny Mays?
Ron Coote.
Was Johnny?
No, Monkey Mays was up in Newcastle.
Okay.
Ron Coote, Bob O'Reilly, Oh, gee, yeah, all these names, which meant so much as a kid because
Oh.
I had all their footy cards at home.
What?
All of a sudden you're up against them. And we went well. We had a good game. We led 2-0 quarter time, 2-0 half time, 2-all 3/4 time. And then, as Bob O'Reilly says, he was the match winner. Scored under the post, and then Mark Harris scored one of the posts as well.
Wow.
So that, giving you the answer to abbreviate it, the exposure that you got as a
Of
player,
course.
had no managers,
No.
just that television experience. All of a sudden, I got home. I was leaving the dressing shed, and Ray Warren comes up and he said, "Winnie, what are you doing next year?" I said, "I hope to be playing football in Sydney." He said, "Give me your number." He says, "Parramatta contacted you?" I said, "No, I'd been
So
contacted."
this was Rabs. So
Rabs.
Rabs is working as a manager.
He must have been a talent scout.
So he was the reason you went to Parra.
He was my contact with Parramatta. I'd been contacted by Peter Moore, Keith Giddos, Kenny Arthurson, all these sort of people that spoke to me on the phone and so on. But all of a sudden, got this phone call from Terry Fernley at 7 o'clock in the morning. He said, "Look, I said, when do you want to talk to me?" He said, "I'll be down within an hour," because he lived at Cronulla. Next year, he's on the front door.
What?
knocking the door. So, yeah, so... And he explained to me, no guarantees, Pete. There's just an opportunity here. Remember the 13 import rule?
Yep.
Each club could only have 3.
Yep.
So he said, "You'll be one of our imports."
Was that 78?
That was 78. And then he said, "Look, we've just signed Arthur Beetson." Artie was a bit of a hero for myself.
Everyone's hero.
Mick Cronin was there, Ray Price.
Yeah.
And I'd been to those grand finals, seen Parramatta lose the 76 and 77 grand finals. So to have him knock on the door was a bit of a... And he was a straight shooter. Everything he said he'd do for me, he did. He said, "We've got a place for you to live. We've got a house for you and Peter Sterling living in Castle Hill." And so in the rugby league environment the whole way through.
It's amazing.
So it was just a matter of me getting appointed to Sydney. And as I said, I got appointed to Maroubra Bay High School.
And then Whalen, mate.
And then Whalen.
Yeehaw.
Oh, double whammy. But I always remember on the Saturday before I started teaching, I'm at home in Castle with Sterling. I've got this Maroubra, and I look up the street director and say, "Oh, it's not that bad." So I said, "Come on, Sterling, come for a drive with me." So we left about 10 o'clock in the morning down through the Great River Road,
Before all the
down
M4s.
Parramatta Road, got to...
Grosvenor Highway.
mate, it was heavy. We got to the front doorsteps of Maroubra Bay High School. And this is big, tall bloke. He says, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm your maths teacher." He said, "Where are you?" "It's 10:15. I said, "Mate, have you ever tried to drive from Castle?" So I used to leave home about 6 o'clock in the morning. That was unreal. Then I got transferred to Mitchell High. And
Blacktown.
Then eyeball with MG at Whalen High.
Whalen High School. The Whalen Warriors.
Yeah, it was good.
was
Great
what-
school, great kids.
Great school.
Good principal.
Cook.
Yeah,
Cookie.
Cliffy Cook.
Cliffy Cook.
Yeah.
Yeah, gave me the
Very
cane a
good.
couple of times.
And a principal makes the school. If he's strong at the top, the teachers are strong.
Well, it's like the boardroom, isn't it, with a footy club?
100%.
Well, speaking of that, this photo is after your footy career. We're going to get to more of your footy career in a second because one of your photos is obviously about that. But I often wonder how it all started with the Peter Wynns score. And if you don't score here, you'll never score.
Oh.
Obviously, that's the catch cry. I want to find out how that came across as well. But how did you get into the jersey merchandise? How did you get into clothing merchandise?
It's a long story, I suppose. I think, as I said, I worked at a little retail store in Werris Creek from 1970 through to 1976, till 75. And this little retail shop was electrical shop. We used to sell Pi televisions, Rank Arena television, had the first colour television when it came to Australia. So I had a little bit of retail from those days.
They said the remote that had the lead going to the...
Yeah, the little big knob on the television.
Quick, put the aerial.
Everybody had a black and white television. All of a sudden, this Rank Arena, and I always remember used to watch the test pattern because it was in colour.
Yeah, I know.
And then the big test down in cricket test in Melbourne was the rest of the world against Australia. And Gary Sabers scored a couple of centuries.
Wow.
But that was the first. I'm pretty sure that was the first ever colour television show, and it was big. And everybody just got caught up with this colour television. So every afternoon I'd come home from work and get home from school and pack packages and delivered TVs and all this sort of stuff. So it was a bit of a touch on retail. But then I love sports stores. As a kid, if you go anywhere, you go to a sports store in Tamworth, or if you come to Sydney, you go into a sports store. First sports store I went to was Kevin Janee Sports.
Kevin Janee.
Remember that? So then all of a sudden, I always had a bit of an itch when I was teaching, and my brother-in-law had a business down at Birkenhead, and I often tell him, I'm going to get out of teaching. And Peter Sterling, they'd use his name at Seven Hills, Peter Sterling Sports, and I approached. He was only paid to use his name.
Okay.
But for some reason, I got in a conversation with the owner, and I said, "Mate, I'll be interested in the business, so I'll sell you half the business." So when they did a deal with him, and then he changed his mind. He didn't want me to be involved. So I started looking around, and I approached Dennis Fitzgerald because Westfield were a sponsor. So he got a meeting with me up at Westfield, and I went up there with my brother-in-law, Mark, to have a meeting. They said, "We've got one little shop here which is available." Told me what the deal was and went away, and then a bit itchy because it was a lot more money than I thought the rep would have been. Then all of a sudden, where we are now became available. and it was Stack's warehouse. Remember Stack's?
Stack's?
Stack's warehouse.
Wow.
It was they were leaving, so Mark and I, we took the rent, and that was 1988, and we just went from there. And we're still doing it after all these years.
And you're still killing it. I mean, there's a lot, obviously online is the big thing these days. And as you mentioned at the top of this chat, that you got to jump through a lot more hoops. But you always seem that people go back for the authentic, the goat. You are the goat of jerseys.
But I think probably because square peg in a square hole. I mean, I was a former Parramatta player. We'd just come off the
Which
great
helps.
era, which helped. I put my name to a business in the middle of Parramatta, and Parramatta's a great population, very loyal supporters. So, but we had rough times. Like you had that Super League hit, and everybody stopped buying jerseys. And we started selling walking machines and treadmills and this sort of stuff. And then,
Gym gear.
Then rugby league came back once the two teams, plus the two enterprises came together called NRL. So away we went again, and we're still going.
Wow. Well, anyone look down the camera, mate? Anyone wants to come and see you? Tell them where you're at. Tell them where the address is and how they get hold of Peter Wynns Store.
If you don't score here, MG,
you never score.
You'll never score.
Righto, let's get the next photo. This is well before Penrith. It was you guys. Triple threat back in 81, 82, 83. Got so many questions about this because obviously Jack Gibson was the man who we all grew up with, thinking that he was kind of the modern day rugby league aficionado. Thinks that's either Wayne Bennett or Craig Bellamy who was in that role. But before them, Jack Gibson was the man. He was the man. What kind of influence did he have on your career? And I suppose, when did you know, Wal, that you were part of something? You were about to be. Did you know at the start of 79 or 80 that something good was coming? Because to win bang 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 back then, I mean it's almost like Penrith bang 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 bang. Obviously with our different salary cap and stuff like that, but to win back then it was the biggest thing since the Dragons of the 50s and 60s, wasn't it?
Look, that answer to your question is a big answer. I think about my football career. I was playing in Tamworth minor league, and I used to pick representative teams to come to Sydney. So I think I started playing for Tamworth under 11s, 12s, 13s. But every second year, first year under 11s, we came and get billeted out in Eastern Suburbs.
Billeted out, yep.
And then the following year, you go to Wollongong, and Wollongong would come up, this sort of stuff. So the halfback for Illawarra minor league was Kevin Hastings. Oh, that was Eastern Suburbs. Halfback was Kevin Hastings, but the halfback for Illawarra was Slippery Morris.
Slippery Morris.
But I came down under 11s, 1971, and my billet took me to the semi-final, the Parramatta Eels up against the St George Dragons at the Sydney Cricket Ground on the Saturday. And I know now, but in that Parramatta side was Bob O'Reilly, who I ended up playing with for 3 seasons, and the coach of St George was Jack Gibson.
Bobby.
And I knew a bit about Jack because he won those premierships with
Roosters.
the Roosters and so on. So in 1978, Jack approached me to play for South Sydney. He was coaching South Sydney, and I didn't sign. But end of 1980, I get a phone call from Jack Gibson. Jack says, "I'm finally going to get to coach you." And I said, "Oh, Jack, I've just re-signed for Parramatta." He says, "Yeah, so have I."
Oh, wow.
So Jack's coming,
Wow.
So I really busted myself to be fit and strong because I knew what a coach he was and met the bloke. He'd gone out of his way to ring me up and so on. So I was really pumped to have a big career. You can't believe it, MG. It's the second game. At Cumberland Oval, I snapped my cruciate ligament. Snapped the ligament. Didn't play. Played 2 games.
The ACL?
No, the PCL.
Oh, the PCL, which is back then was like the ACL.
It was all over.
Yeah.
Didn't play for 12 months. Jack used to come visit me in hospital, give me books to read. So he kept in contact with me. He said, when you're fit again, I'll play you. Don't give up on something. Sing your guts all the time. All I want to do is play football. But to be at the top of the game, to be fit and strong, have it taken away from it.
It's the worst.
That was hard work, and then Parramatta win the 81 grand final, and you're part of it on the fringe. And so on. It's not quite the same as being out there on the field and so on. But 1980, we had a good side. 1980, we missed the semis, I think 1980 by a point, so we're very unlucky. On a bit of a crest of a wave, we won that Amco Cup, and all of a sudden we got bailed out in the last. We had to win our last game to be in the semis, and St George knocked us off. So all of a sudden you're into that 1981 season. And to get the 81, the 82 and the 83 was pretty special. All good blokes. There's not a bloke there. You're looking at Paul Taylor, Edgy, Chris Phelan, Dave Lydiard, Sterlo, Brett Kenny, Stan Jerd, Paul Mears, Mick Cronin.
This was my dad's team, so I knew everyone.
His team,
Dad was. Then before you guys was Ray Higgs and Graham Olling and Moran, and I used to sit on the hill at Cumberland Oval, and I was always to marvel how the ice cream lady would walk around with the ice creams in her little container, but with hot ice.
Yeah.
I said, "Won't that melt the ice cream?" I said, "The ice is that cold that it burns you if you touch it.
Yeah.
Like, that was one of the first memories I've got of being on Cumberland Oval.
Cumberland Oval. Oh.
Now, then when did they burn?
1981.
1981.
The grand final. The biggest buzz you can get, though, is being a part of that. You think, reflect on it and see what it meant to you. But I chose that photo, MG, for a reason, because that first photo I showed you when I started my football career, and like to go along to play for country, to get picked for City, play for New South Wales, to be a part of the New South Wales team when we won that first State of Origin series in 1985, then to get picked in the green and gold. I just look at my face in that photo and the arms up and just
It's amazing.
Exhilaration and just that sense of achievement, the excitement of being amongst those blokes, just oozing on their presence and just oozing on what it meant to the fans, to the club and to the team itself. And having experienced all those other things as well, I just think that captures what rugby league is all about, having been exposed to it, being given the opportunity. It certainly helped me. Everything I've got in my life, I probably owe to the game of rugby league.
Ditto.
To had a father who played the game, my brother played the game, and I know what it meant to my mum and dad to come down and to go through all the different all the games from the 4 stone 7s to the 11, 12, 13, 14, the under 18s, the first grade down at Thurrool, Butchers, the Illawarra side, and to play first grade for Parramatta. And you always at the start of every season, the goal is to win a premiership, and it doesn't happen that often.
No.
Now, I was part of a club that won 4 premierships, fortunate enough to get on the ground for 3 of them, but just to know what it's the highlight. But I think still wearing the green and gold is the ultimate. But that look at my face, I think it captivates.
I think it's different. Well, I think it's when you play for New South Wales in Australia, they're individual goals that you get picked from playing with these guys. If you didn't have these guys with you, and then you go through, as you mentioned, you've done your PCL and with these guys, and then the next when you finally get the Holy Grail, and you go, well, wow, that's what every person who puts a boot on, from 5 years of age or 4 stone 4, whatever it is, they want to win the grand final. And unfortunately, some of the best players that ever played our game doesn't happen for.
Yep. I think that's the point of difference, isn't it? Just that feeling that you've had having achieved that level. I mean, there's no sympathy in rugby league. I remember Jack Gibson turns up in 1981. The first thing he says, 2 things stick in my mind. The first thing he says, there's 13 blokes running that every Sunday. I've got to pick him, and there's no emotion in my selections. Right? He says, so there's no emotion in rugby league.
That's it.
And then he says, if any of you blokes want to be late, you better come up with a new excuse because I've heard them all before. then when I open up the shop, that previous Jack rings me up a bit. He said, I better come check this shop out. So he comes out, and he said, I've got a few tips for you. He says, don't steer too far away from that cash register. He said, don't employ any gamblers. And the third one is, better the thief you know than one you don't. not bad, are they? You reflect.
He was easy. What an icon of the game, Jack Gibson. I mean, so just while we're on Parramatta at the moment, I suppose it'd be remiss of me not to ask you, why has it been 40 years since '86 to this year, which we're in our, we're about to embark upon our 40 years since that was. You'd think a club like Parramatta with such the nursery and. What's this?
I thought it'd been that long for you, MG. Oh, it fits you too.
Wow.
Just the premiership ring they gave us a couple of years ago.
Did they? Well, I think I've got one.
No, the club gave us these.
Oh, come on, Penrith.
Which such a nice thing.
Just 91 should have one.
Yeah, it's very good. A lot of memories. I mean, we won the medals.
Yeah.
In that photo. Yeah, to answer your question, MG, you probably answered the question previously when you said that so many great players have never won a premiership. It's not an easy thing to do. Everything's got to come right for you. I mean, even if you reflect on last season, the way the Broncos got through with a couple of close calls at the end, but they got through and they won the game and they were ready to play on the day. So I'd not take anything away from Parramatta. I just think you've got to have good players. Even Jack said that. I'm only as good as the players that I've got playing for me. Parramatta's been close. I think 2009, 2011, 2020, 2022. So close.
2001. No, it was 2000. Which was the one that
99.
2009 was the one that the controversial one.
2001, they got knocked off by the Newcastle.
Oh, that's right. They did too. Yes, 2001.
An unbeatable side. So everything's got to go right on the day. You've got to be good enough to get into that position. It's no lack of trying. It's just such a fine line between the winning and losing. It comes from the top, I believe. You have good, solid people at the top, then it gives you a chance to come through. And I think probably the success that we had at Parramatta is that you had the blokes like Bob O'Reilly, Mick Cronin, Ray Price, Ronnie Hilditch, who Jack appointed as team captain. So what Jack used to do, you had the 60 players, third grade, reserve grade, first grade.
Yeah, same.
So, you probably had the same.
And with Timmy Sheens, and every Tuesday would be in the groups.
Yep, in the groups.
We'd be with first grade and reserve grade and under 23s.
But Jack didn't do that. On the Tuesday, what Jack would do, he had each of those team players, there's the list of players, they had to pick a player one at a time. And you stayed in that team every Tuesday. So third grade, reserve grade and first grades trained together.
That's awesome.
On the Tuesday. So you had particular colour, blue. And on the Thursday, you went into first grade, reserve grade or third grade, and the game when you trained on the Saturday morning. So all the younger blokes mixed together and got to see what it was like. And the other thing Jack did too, if you won the game ball, you come Tuesday, you had to go up and give a 3-minute speech.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you're a third grade kid who's just won the game, you've got to stand up and speak in front of all your idols and so on. So Jack had those 4 guys as team captains who were in the peak of their careers, older than a lot of the other blokes, like the likes of Sterlo coming through, Brett Kenny, Steve Ella, as I mentioned, they're all coming through. The zip man. So we got influenced by and they were all level-headed sort of guys, not big-headed amongst them. Didn't misbehave. Always set a good example.
Yeah, I think
that was the point of difference.
I think Parra in for something special this year. I think definitely top 8. I like the fact that these young peasants come up for the year for them, but we'll wait and see because I think Rilesy's the right man for the job. I think he's got that kind of Cameron Serrato feel about him, the aura about him.
It's a good thing that a player like him has gone into the coaching ranks under other coaches.
Bloody oath it has.
Been able to absorb everything.
I think it's so good.
It's a tough job.
It is.
You've got coaches, influencing players' lives, their family, everything. He's got coaches who'll be very smart.
Yes.
And those players have to die for them, die for the coach. I think that's a fair comment, as you put it in your day.
Bloody oath.
Yeah, interesting.
We get to your last photo, Mr. Wynn, and it's this is something special. Tell us all about first of all, who's in this photo, and why is it so special to you, buddy?
I just think the big wheel turns, doesn't it? Like my stage of my life now, I'm 68 years of age, and family's always been so special. I couldn't achieve what I've achieved without, firstly my wife. She's been beside me ever since we got married way back in '83, and I've got 4 children. We've got Renee, Tim, Michael, and Jody.
Yep.
They've all got partners now. I've got 7 grandchildren amongst them. So that photo there.
Everyone's there.
Everyone's there. The only one is my mother. My mother's 96 years of age.
Wow, still with us.
Still with us in Tamworth.
96.
96, yeah. I hope I threw her to her side of the family. Yeah, no, she's still going. So she's probably the only one missing there that, that's still alive, unfortunately. But, that photo is just, I thought, just sums up. The journey hasn't finished. For them, the journey's only just begun.
Oh, yeah.
So I just think
they keep you young, the grandkids, don't they?
Do, don't they? And I just think about all these little boys that have started playing football and they're doing little Rexy had his first game of footy last year. Angus, little Jackson's doing all athletics. They've got the whole world ahead of them, haven't they?
So you had 2 boys?
2 boys, 2 girls.
You had 2 boys, 2 girls.
2 boys and 2
and
girls.
what about Graham?
He's got 2 boys and a girl.
Okay.
Yep. He's got his
so 7 between you.
7 between us.
And so
I've got 7. He's got. I think he's got 4 grandkids.
Wow, no, but you had 7 kids between you 2. You had 4, he had 3.
Yes.
But now you've got 7 grandkids, and he's got how many grandkids?
4.
Wow, bit of a race, is it all?
Yeah, it could be.
Competition?
Yeah, it could be.
Oh, and where are they all? Where are they all living these days?
Well, that thing about, it's like in rugby league, MG, you chase your career. My eldest boy, Tim Wynn, he played for Parramatta, played in the under-20s grand final, played a bit of lower grade, and then he went to France and played for 4 years. 4 years over there with Toulouse, came back and played with Manly in lower grades, and then came back to Parramatta. Didn't crack that NRL, but so proud of what he did to that certain level. Always there with him, and then he's came back and his other brother, while he was away, did his apprenticeship as a carpenter. He's got his own business called Wynn Build in the eastern suburbs. He's a builder.
Wow.
And my eldest boy just completed his aged apprenticeship as a carpenter. So he now works for the younger boy.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the younger boy's the boss. He's 33 and the oldest bloke's 40, and he's just done his apprenticeship. The 2 girls are teachers. So Jody teaches at Rose Bay Primary and Renee teaches at Ballina High School.
Well, they're following the genes.
Got their mother's brains. They're very lucky.
Oh, well, that's beautiful, mate. I think...
it's about the family, MG.
Well, it is.
Your posts, 100%.
Everything you've, I suppose everything we do is, as we're getting older, we want to create a legacy once we've gone. That long after we're gone, that our grandkids are saying, my papa was this, and then their kids are talking about. I mean, life is fleeting, but it's also very, very, very enjoyable. Yes. And now for a bit of fun. Our next segment, but wait, there's more. Sponsored by our good friends at Elite Bet. Who are the best 3 players that you played with at Parramatta?
Oh, what a question, MG. What are you doing to me?
It's like picking your best kid.
God, I'm good mates with them all, so I'm not picking them. I think...
just on ability, not on blokes, on ability.
On ability, I was lucky to play with Bob O'Reilly
and
Artie Beetson.
Yep.
Pretty good. And I think blokes like Mick Cronin, Sterlo, Eric Grove, Steve Ella.
Got to pick one. Got to pick three. Got to pick three. Got to pick
Jeez,
three. Who'd be on your podium?
I think bloke who died for the club and was Ray Price.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a freak. He's a freak of a player.
Yep.
Good trainer.
Good bloke.
Yeah, good level. Great level of expertise in the game that he played. Very professional. In the backs, I think I probably got to pick Eric Growth. I don't know if I can compare too many wingers with him. I think every time he got the ball,
Wasn't he big? Wasn't he
was a
great?
freak. I played my first grade with Eric. We debuted together in 1979 at Cumberland Oval against the Magpies. And the third one, mate, the Bear. The Bear was as tough as they come.
Good answers, mate. You got there in the end. Okay, who was an unsung hero from your premiership years at Parra? So you mentioned the best three. Who's kind of one of them guys that didn't get the recognition that the big boys did, but you couldn't have played, you couldn't have won without him?
Jeez, I think probably Jack loved him. Paul Taylor.
Oh, well, how good was he, mate?
He was a defender.
How good was he? He was playing hooker, fullback.
I think that was
halfback.
I think there's a point of difference when we missed the semis in '87. You know, we missed Ray Price. He just to knock those last players down. But Tazza was there all the time. He put his guts on the line. Yeah, he's very good.
Worst injury you ever played through in a game? Is there something that happened to you in a game and you just played on, or?
There was MG. It knocked me about a fair bit. 1981. Second game, we played Newtown the first game, knocked them off at Cumberland Oval, then we backed up against the Bulldogs in the second game, and we did tap it about 2 minutes before half-time. Sterlo tapped it, gave to Brett Kenny, and Brett turned inside of me, went straight through, and all of a sudden George Papone has come from nowhere and hit my knee, and I just snapped my ligament. I went down. I said, I couldn't believe it. Got back into the dressing shed, and Jack comes up. He said, "You all right? Yeah, I'm all right, Jack. I'm all right." Went out and played the whole second half with a snapped knee. Didn't play again.
The patella.
With the cruciate ligament, posterior cruciate. Didn't play again for 12 months.
Wow.
Yeah, just one of those. Just a
free goal. That's what rugby league. That's what rugby league gives us.
And you spend the whole off season getting better again, the whole year getting better. I was fortunate, came back, so I didn't kill my career. I come back and
you did, mate. You come back in a big way.
In a big.
What's the biggest what if of your playing career? Is there something you would have? Oh, what if that this happened, or what if that happened?
Yeah, it's interesting. Jack rang me up before the '82 Kangaroo tour, and he said, "You're on the tour. You're on the tour," and I didn't get on the tour. So
did you have a tour in the Kangaroo?
No, I did. I toured New Zealand,
but not in the Kangaroo tour.
On the Kangaroo tour.
Wow, I thought you did.
Did 3 weeks in New Zealand, but the other one was.
You would love that. You would love it.
Actually, I've got a better one. I'll give you. It was 1981. We played against South Sydney, and they'd had the first 2 games for New South Wales, and I was in the dressing shed, and Brian Hamley was a selector, and he came in and he spoke about being in the first State of Origin side. And we trained. They picked 17 in 1981. We trained and everything. And then we got beat on the Sunday, and I picked up the paper on the Sunday morning. My name wasn't there. They picked 17, so I missed out on that as well.
I had something similar to me in 1989. I got told that I was going to be picked for the first game.
Yep.
I was as a 19-year-old. I went, oh, wow. And it wasn't for the second one. Dead rubber comes along. I'm in. I had to check if I picked up the right paper.
I was still not there. Yeah, but then I came back and played. Fortunate enough to come back and play State of Origin 84 and 85 because I tasted State of New South Wales, Queensland 1979.
So you had before Origin?
Yeah, I played before
Where
Origin.
Kind of New South Wales just to kick Queensland's ass.
We used to hammer.
Like big scores. And that's why they changed it.
And yeah, nothing really changed. I went up there, played my first New South Wales game at Lang Park against Mal Meninga. He was in the side and so on. And then Chris Close and Wally Lewis came on in the second game. But I always remember coming off with Tom Reddy. He said, I love killing them. That was pre-State of Origin. Imagine what he's like as a coach. He loved it. Yeah, probably singling. I think probably missing that first State of Origin game.
Yeah, of course.
What if didn't happen.
Finally, Mr. Wynn, which moment from your playing career still gives you goosebumps today?
I think you saw it. Just that being a part of the exhilarating moment, that tunnel vision when that full-time whistle goes and you look around the crowd, the blue and gold was there, coming back through
the club,
getting back to Parramatta Leagues Club.
And day grand finals. So you could savour a lot more.
But you get back there and have a dinner and they'd take us upstairs and Ray Warren was the host. He'd introduce you one at a time and the crowd, there'd be 1,000 people in that auditorium. The floor was pumping, but just that moment of recognition.
I got goosebumps.
I'm telling you, it was a buzz. It's hard to imagine, like trying to put in the words is the hardest thing to do, but just Rabs one and second row, Peter Wynns, running up, all that sort of stuff.
Well, Wally Wynn, your life has been fantastic. You've got plenty more of it to live. This is your life in 5. And also, on behalf of Lily Pilly Wines, a nice Shiraz and a Sauv Blanc, my friend.
MG, you know what gives me a lot of satisfaction as much as anything is see you doing what you're doing in life, and know that the good opportunities to teach you way back in 1980. You're a man within yourself.
Thanks,
credit
buddy.
to your family, you credit to the whole district and the Penrith. And you've done
Oh,
a
good
great
on you,
job.
mate. That's nice of you. Thanks, Wal. Well done, brother.